In this chapter we are going to look at importing and creating images. And one of the most important things that you need to understand is Photoshop is an image editor. It doesn't always create images, but it does edit them. What we're going to look at is first is how to create a new image. Go ahead and go to File, New, and you'll be presented with a dialog box. Inside this dialog box, it's going to ask you a bunch of questions, and it has a bunch of settings for you. Now, all of this might be a little bit foreign, but right now I'm just going to type in my image. And in here, we're going to go ahead and leave the settings as is. We're not going to make any changes. All we're going to do is go ahead and select OK. And there you go. You have created your first image. Now is the fun part where you fill it with your ideas or other images that you might want to incorporate into it. But for this point, we're just going to go ahead and close it out. After we close out the image, we're back to our regular Photoshop. Now, the whole purpose of Photoshop is to edit images, and rarely will you actually be creating images from scratch. Most of the time, you'll be taking images already created. Now, Photoshop, we're going to go back to Open here. Photoshop has a native format. Usually on this one here, this is called a PSD, although you can't see the full description of it. Let me switch to details here. It is a PSD, which means it is a Photoshop file. Let's go ahead and open up our Digital Life logo that we've been looking at last time. Again, I went to Open, and inside I select my file, and I select Open. And here is my file once again. And same concept as before, this is where we'll edit and modify our images. When we're done, we can go ahead and select the X, or we can go to File, and select Close. Now, since we didn't make any changes to this images, nothing will be saved, or the Save dialog screen will not appear when we close out of the image.